Hi everyone, welcome back to Sylence 13.5. I'm Ashley, and this is episode 4. Today we're diving into a topic that affects every facet of our justice system, the impact of sentencing policies. One of the most striking observations about our prisons is that many of the issues we see, violence, recidivism, and contraband, are not the root problems. They are symptoms of a much deeper issue, hopelessness. And at the core of that hopelessness are the sentencing policies that strip away dignity, purpose, and opportunity. As we begin, I want to highlight a powerful statement from a previous episode. It's a de facto death sentence, or death by incarceration. This statement reflects what so many people feel, that sentencing policies don't just take away freedom, they take away hope. Today we'll explore why this happens, why it matters, and how we can change it. Let's start by understanding how the sentencing policies were designed. In the 1990s, many states, including South Carolina, adopted mandatory minimum sentences and truth in sentencing laws. These policies were touted as necessary to deter crime and ensure fairness in sentencing. But in reality, they have done the opposite. Mandatory minimums ignore individual circumstances, treating all cases the same, regardless of context, and truth in sentencing laws, which require offenders to serve a high percentage of their sentence, eliminate opportunities for parole and rehabilitation. These policies create a one-size-fits-all approach that fails to account for the complexity of human behavior and the possibility of redemption. The issues we see inside our prisons, violence, drug use, contraband, cell phones, and repeat offenses are often treated as the main problems, but they are not. They're symptoms of a system that breeds hopelessness. Take the ongoing controversy about contraband cell phones. The director of South Carolina's prison system has repeatedly cited these phones as the primary cause of problems within the system. But here's the thing. Contraband isn't the root issue. It's a symptom of deeper system problems. Why do incarcerated individuals seek contraband cell phones? Because they've been stripped of meaningful ways to connect with the outside world. Family phone calls are often unaffordable, and limited access to communication leaves people feeling isolated. In a system that denies hope, people turn to whatever means they can to find connection and purpose. The despair caused by these policies don't just lead to contraband, it fuels violence, substance abuse, and recidivism. Imagine serving a sentence with no chance for early release, no access to education or job training, and no support for mental health or addiction. What would you have to look forward to? For many, the answer is nothing. When people feel they have nothing to lose, despair takes over. And when despair takes over, the consequences ripple far beyond the prison walls, affecting families, communities, and society as a whole. Hopelessness doesn't just affect individuals, it affects all of us. The economic cost of long sentences are staggering. Taxpayers are funding a system that keeps people locked up for decades without offering any program to help them reintegrate into society. And then there are the social costs. Families are torn apart. Children grow up without parents. Communities lose potential contributors. These are the hidden costs of sentencing policies that prioritize punishment over rehabilitation. It doesn't have to be this way. There are states and countries that have implemented sentencing policies designed to restore hope. They've introduced parole eligibility, reduced mandatory minimums, and invested in rehabilitation programs. Take Norway, for example. Their prisons focus on preparing individuals for reintegration from the moment they arrive. The result? Low recidivism rates and healthier communities. Here in the U.S., states like New Jersey are beginning to follow suit. Recent reforms have reduced prison populations while maintaining public safety. These examples show us that when we restore hope, we restore humanity. I want to share the story of a man named Jason who spent 15 years in South Carolina prison. Jason described the experience as a slow death, not because of physical harm, but because of the mental toll of helplessness, he said. There were days I couldn't imagine making it to the next one. The only thing that kept me going was the thought of my daughter. I wanted her to know her dad didn't give up, even when the system told him to. Jason's story reminds us that even in the darkest place, hope can survive. But imagine what he could have accomplished if the system had nurtured that hope instead of extinguishing it. So what can we do? First, we must demand policies that recognize the potential for growth and redemption. This means advocating for parole eligibility, mental health support, and affordable communication options for incarcerated individuals. We must challenge the idea that longer sentences and isolation create safety. They don't. If this message hits home with you, if it just hits something, share it. Have conversations with your friends, family, and local leaders. And if you have been directly impacted by these policies, reach out to us. Your voice matters, and I want to hear your story. Thank you for joining us for this important discussion. Remember, the issue we see in our prison, whether contraband, violence, or recidivism, are not root problems. They are symptoms of a system that is in need of transformation. Until next time, this is Ashley reminding you that silence is the enemy, but together we can fight for peace. Thank you.